Well, I'm gonna mulligan this. I would play more Valakut Awakening. Are we just running bad? Simon has donated, what about Jeskai for memes? That sounds awesome. Why is Fact or Fiction bad right now? I don't think it's bad. I just don't think people are playing it. I cast the card last night. Felt fine. Just because someone's not playing a card doesn't mean it's not good anymore. Yeah, maybe cutting to 4th Steamvents could work. We're going to keep this 5-card hand. On 5 cards, I want to put back Force, and my opponent says going to scoop working at the same time, so I'll be really slow. Not if I scoop first. Dude, I'm just incinerating play points. Don't want people to feel obligated to concede to me. Like you know, like in a spot like that, you know what I mean? Don't want them to feel pressure to concede to me. I do appreciate the thought, but I have won the polite fight. 1-0 against Talus in polite fights. I think I might want it to not drop from the league since it meets... Oh, right. I actually can hit them again anyways. Talus, don't queue right now. Yeah, no, you're not... No worries, Talus. I just wanted to win the polite fight. Where I didn't want you to feel like you had to scoop because I was streaming. But don't re-queue. Don't re-queue. Yeah, I know you don't mind, but I also will have no losing of any polite fights here. This hand is not quite functional, so we should mulligan. This hand is functional. Let's keep this and put back the snap. If we draw a Lotus Field, this hand gets to go turn 3 Blood Sun, turn 4 Teferi into Cryptic. Interesting. There's our Lotus Field. However, they named it white, so this is the Heliod combo deck, so we hopefully have a little bit of time. They shouldn't be able to kill us next turn, but they can gain infinite life, but I also don't think we care a ton about infinite life. This also shuts off their Gavany Township. I could be wrong, but the early game looks bad for us. Kind of. I mean, we've got cheap interaction, just not as much as some other decks I tend to play. We've got 4 bolts. We got 3 Tails End. We have early game for sure. In fact, I feel like I've got way more early game than chat wants me to have. They keep wanting me to play like X spells and 7 mana spells, you know. I mean, I guess I do have a 7 mana spell in my deck. Blood Moon versus Blood Sun. Well, Blood Sun also shuts off their fetches. I forgot about that. Yeah. Turn 4 Teferi, hold up Cryptic. Is definitely like the driving force behind this deck. Something I've been obsessed with. Maybe we just play 4 Blood Sun. I don't know. We played 4 Blood Sun earlier, then we drew 4 Blood Sun. Let's do this now, so that way we make them cast their Coco before we... I guess it would be the same if we just float mana in our end step. We get to be a little lazier like this. Obviously, we've had a really good hand, but kind of like I was saying earlier... Oh, this is the reason why, right? Like I was saying about the Miracles deck, like the Miracles deck is a high variance... I'll just keep both of these. A high variance control deck, where you're sacrificing consistency for power level, and that's definitely what this deck is doing, is sacrificing some consistency for some really powerful interactions. Was this brew inspired by the desire to untap 6 mana with Teferi's Trigger? I mean, more so untap 4 mana. Oh boy. We're drawing Wildfire. More so to untap 4 mana into Cryptic. But, you know, that's cool too, for sure. This deals with the Blood Sun, but I don't think that matters a ton. Like, it's good if they have a... This is good for them if they have a fetch, right? This also lets us wildfire our own flagstones. Pretty good. Did I see Watsy said people playing Scoot Swarm was going off? Yeah, I saw something to that effect. Bit silly, but I get it. Did draw a lot of lands here. We do have 2 Valakut Awakening in the deck for spots like this, which is maybe just going to be great. Another land off the top? No, it's a Cryptic Command. You should probably get in the habit of tapping Lotus Field first. I mean, maybe. I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. She cut 5 lands for 5 Sphinx's Rev. Genius. I want to keep in the wildfires against the Utopia Sprawl deck. It is really nice in this matchup that we're not cold to their infinite life combo. I do like Teferi to be able to bounce their Heliod's. Maybe I'll go down to 1 Force of Negation and play 2 Teferi. Also stops Veil of Summers that they will likely bring in. I mean, Sphinx's Revelation is definitely like an F&M hero card that everybody's going to love me if I play, but I also don't think the card is very good right now. Or has been good in a while, maybe I should say. This hand's fine. Opponent's mold to 5. Could Fae of Wishes be a thing? I think you want most of your big spells to be instant speed because of the Teferi Lotus Field thing, but I also think Fae of Wishes is kind of nonsense. I don't think it's great. Huh. I think I'm gonna top. Maybe we just go Valakut Awakening tapped and Serum Visions next turn if we don't want to wildfire anything. Bottom, top. You're going to look flooded with draw 1s, 3 Suns, 4 Teferi. Yes, which is why we're playing 4 Serum Visions too. I mean, I don't know if saying only 4 Serum Visions... Saying we only have 4 Serum Visions for selection feels weird to me because like I haven't been playing Serum Visions in a lot of these lists recently. I'm just gonna hold up mana and cast Valakut Awakening. Obviously, I don't really have any real interaction up, but I kind of want to pretend like I do here. Yeah, we also have 2 Valakuts Awakening, but I haven't really felt like in Modern you've been able to play a lot of card selection. For a while, I felt this way, and so I'm not sure if I like necessarily agree with that sentiment. Do something like this. I don't think we want... I think we can draw a land in like our 5 draw steps, right? Yeah. Cool. So I think we just Tails into our Lotus Field trigger. And they have a Ballista, but they're like pretty far away from being able to combo. So they're gonna gain infinite life, and I'll... Oh, I actually have the blurb typed out. Although, what did I save it as? It's probably going to take me more time to find this than it is to just type it out. I'll treat it as if you have infinite life and not attack with any creatures. And if I attack... If I lie, you can cancel me on Twitter. Okay, I do some... Okay. Oh, thank you, Simon. That's awesome. Although I have to probably cut the Uro part sometimes. Interesting. This is sick. Holy crap, this is a good turn. This is an absurd turn. Yeah, so it's a bit convoluted, but we ultimate Teferi, and we exile all of our opponent's permanents, and then we don't deck ourselves because we both have Nexus of Fate and the ability to -3 Teferi on himself and draw Teferi over and over again. Then our opponent will eventually deck themselves, and we will, keep exiling all their permanents with the Teferi ultimate. This turn is illegal in some states. I think you're right. Alright, I'm starting to get on board with this deck. I'm glad that this deck feels like it's got some potential. I was a bit nervous. Oh, their fetch land is also turned off. That's so sick. I was a bit nervous to play this deck today. Because I usually like to have these brews be a bit more tested. I'm just going to have the Teferi take a hit. I usually like these brews to be a bit more tested. But I really had a feeling about this one. And I feel like if you're a content creator and you've got the feeling that something you are doing has promise but is also risky, I think that's usually something you should maybe just try to lean into. Because I think you're supposed to take risks and try new things as an e-boy, and I'm glad I ended up playing this deck today. I think I'll keep the Force. I don't think we need the other hero. Yeah, let's go ahead and snap Valakut's Awakening here. And then we get to untap our Lotus Fields, of course. Could maybe even draw another Lotus Field. Dude, Valakut's Awakening is sick. This card's really good. Wow. I guess I'll just cycle a Blood Sun here. We don't need the extra 3 mana, right? This is awesome. Man, I just love it when a new brew comes together and you just get to show it off. It just really is my favorite thing. Yeah, the brew stream is always really fun. It's just hard to like force it, It's got to happen kind of naturally. You're pretty sure you concede to infinite life? No, the mill plan is not going to take that much time. In fact, I really don't even think that attacking is our main win condition necessarily. Maybe it is. All right, I'll keep that in mind, Parm. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, always let me know if you change your username. Or I guess you don't always. You can just do whatever you want. Always tell me. It's so nice. You said I wouldn't attack. Did I attack? Oh, yeah. No, I mean just in general, I don't think our main win condition is attacking. I know I'm not going to attack with... Yeah, they're at infinite life. But in general, I feel like Teferi ultimates are more of a win condition than attacking. So if we draw a Wildfire, we can Wildfire our Valakut Awakening and then snap it back. Was just a change because you felt like... Oh, got it. Not going to Teferi Ultimate. I am going to... Wait, TUI. I don't know what TUI means. TUI. Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. This game's very over. I know they have infinite life, but it just doesn't really matter. Yeah, we can Cryptic Bounce Valakut. That's actually a really cool line, and I'm going to do it. That's cool. Yeah, Valakut Awakening is kind of sick. I really like I really like that we're playing 2 copies now. I think 2 is the right number. Obviously, hard to know for sure. But it's been really good so far. Nice. I also think, like, if you're nice to your opponent and you say, hey, I'm going to treat it as if you have infinite life, your opponents will, like, usually be nice to you, and they'll, like, scoop when you demonstrate the Teferi loop. In my experience, at least, that's usually how it goes. Timu's been on 2. Yeah, I should probably just be playing it in regular Jeskai as well. So I'm explaining the loop to my opponent. It is a bit convoluted. Yeah, my opponent just doesn't know how it works, which is fine. Yeah, I don't need to attack infinite times. They'll just mill out. Although it is true, I can attack for infinite damage, so that would also win. Because I take infinite turns. And so they do have to pick a finite number of life, and so I demonstrate the loop of attacking infinite times. Obviously, it's a billion clicks. Keep this. I think we'll play a Valakut Awakening on turn 1. What happened previously? I dropped because we had someone in chat who said they didn't want to play against me because they were working and they were going to play slow and they didn't want to slow down the stream. And I was victorious in my polite fight by conceding first. Oh no, I didn't get to Tails End the hills. Yeah, I also really want a 5-0. Hopefully it happens. We can Tails End... this draw is really good. So we can Tails End the Elvish Reclaimer activation if they activate on their turn. Or we can just play Blood Sun, and Blood Sun's very good against them. Yeah, so they're not using it here. We can make a 0/0 Shark. I think I'm not going to. Blood Sun, baby. A little light on blue mana, I guess. Yeah, we did lose to that rogue deck, but that was 2 leagues ago. Because we dropped and then changed a card. Every time I change a card, I've just been dropping. Play points don't really have a lot of value to me. They have less value than being able to, make good content. Blood Sun, baby! Blood Sun! Praise the sun. Everybody at home, get out of your chairs. Get out of your chairs. Praise the sun. Oh, if they have a bounce land, the bounce land's really good here. Although we can wildfire it. Dude, if they have a Lotus Field in their deck, that'd be so sick. I feel like Lotus Field is maybe good in their deck. Randy is kind of praising the sun. We could also, just Valakut Awakening looking for a Lotus Field. Just, dump our whole hand here. I actually don't hate that. We have 7 looks at a Lotus Field. And we hit. Awesome. Although, if we bolt the Reclaimer, they just sack a land in response, and we don't get to kill it. Took a stab at ONS this morning and wasted 90 minutes of my life with the underpowered Dark Souls character. I believe in your ability to do it. There is an item in Anor Londo called the Crystal Halberd that is kind of put there to be able to help you get through the area if your character's underpowered, but it's a weapon that doesn't you can't repair it, but it's very powerful. So so if you're struggling in Anor Londo, that item is there for you to get out of a sticky spot. Ooh. Could be time to just hardcast this. Yeah, their prime times just don't really do anything. Or, I mean, they ramp them. But we can also bolt and block a 4 toughness creature here, and then we'll also win the game. Could you not bolt the Reclaimer in response? No, you can't. Because so if you're part of the cost of activating the ability is putting the land in the graveyard. So it's already a 3/4 as soon as it activates with no ability to intervene. Good question. Dude, this deck is sick. I'm really happy it's coming together, because I was worried that it would just be a hot pile, and then I've been wanting to, you know, get some new brews because I've been playing a lot of the same stuff. I think we want to kill Reclaimer over Dryad, right? Can we snap Valakut Awakening and Cryptic? Not quite, right? Cryptic, yeah, we're 1 mana short. That's fine. TSP Gindrick, thank you for the raid. We got a spicy brew here. One I've been just kind of obsessed with. My White Whale is playing Lotus Field in a Jeskai control deck, and you were synergizing Lotus Field with Flagstones, Tail's End, Bloodstone, and Teferi Hero of Dominaria, untapping it, of course. And it's been pretty good so far. And also Bloodstone is like a playable card in Modern, maybe. Zom, 4 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. That is the Dog Plains. Yeah, thank you for getting the shout out. They run deck, main deck Apparition. Yeah, I think they do. I might just take 8. To play around that. Although they would probably play it pre-combat, right? Would I call this deck Bloodfield or Lotus Sun? Maybe Lotus Sun. Bloodfield's pretty metal, though. Yeah, I think we just take 8. And then we can snap Awakening. If they don't play anything, we want a Cryptic. And then like we can maybe Cryptic bounce Snapcaster. What's the record in this league? 1-0. 1-0. They got a fetch land, which is actually not able to be sacrificed with the Blood Sun in play. They do have Eldormi's Call, so we'll make them get the Skyclave Apparition and we'll counter it on the way down. Thanks, chat. It's always bloody in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Well, Nexus of Fate plus hard cast Shark Typhoon. It's a Splitter Twin. Amazing. Why counter Apparition? It exiles the Blood Sun and then they win the game with Valakut. The main reason to counter it is because we lose the game if we don't. That would be the main reason. They have a second one, which is brutal. However, they have no more cards in their hand. I'd like to point out that chat told me that they told me they only have one Skyclave. But so if we snap bolts, we get a 1/1 shark and a 3/3, and then we get to this should be lethal. No, we can't snap Valakut. We're 1 mana short, but we should just snap bolt should do it. Because we get, you know, effectively 6 power, then we get to Nexus and put 7 more points of power in play, then attack again. Should be very lethal. Cool game. Cool game. Kind of funny. I feel like if we had to take this 8 damage. Otherwise we're just super dead. Oh, we can even Teferi first, right? On tap. The upside to casting Teferi first here is, oh, well, I guess I could have played that. The upside to casting Teferi first here is we don't have to do any math. I guess we didn't have to do any math anyways, huh? Is this a BM? Maybe it's a BM. I think BM is it's all about intention. So I want to go down on, I think I want to go down to 2 Tail's End, 2 or 3 Lightning Bolts. Probably just 2. Play 1 Force of Negation. This looks pretty good to me. I might play Teferi on the play, but on the draw I'm not that into it. I keep feeling like we outgrew the Wildfires in this deck. That's possibly true. Although we still have 4 Flagstones in our Jeskai control deck, where I feel like the Wildfire thing is probably still good, but it's possible we don't want it. And just be more in on Lotus Field. Or it's possible that we don't play the full 4. Still very into the brew. Or very new into the brew. With this setup, do I think Madcap package is still reasonable? I think it's even better in this deck because you don't play fetch lands. Like, I think the Madcap package is even better in this deck than it is in the other version of Jeskai. Yeah, Bloodstone stops enter the battlefield tapped, which is why Lotus Field, or part of the reason why Lotus Field is so good in Canal. Maybe cut 1 cleansing. Maybe just not playing 4 is fine. I'm gonna keep this. Yeah, Bloodstone does not turn off Tron. In fact, I remember people thought Bloodstone was gonna be like a really good main deck card in Tron. Ding ding ding. Yeah, you could maybe sideboard some. I don't think that that's unreasonable. Is my opponent going to let me Tails in their Wooded Foothills? They are not. I do feel like the deck has come together. And I also feel like the deck is really cool. They get a Tireless Tracker, which is pretty good. Nice to draw land. Our hand is solid too. Would Bloodstone Tron be a decent dono deck? Oh yeah, probably. It's an interesting idea. Maybe a little underexplored even. I think we gust this. It's obviously a bit... We'd rather gust the tracker. But now we can Wildfire away the Dryad. And then bolt the tracker. So yeah, Tails In is my invitational card. Yeah, like I really do feel like I've been liking playing 4 Hero of Dominaria too. You just like always want to go. Ooh, Shaziri's Step. It's kind of cool. Alright, I think we can take a turn off to do this. Because they don't have Titan mana. No, they have Titan mana! Ah! Yeah, I do think this deck is sweet. This deck may not be perfect, but it's at least cool. And we could draw like Teferi. We could draw Teferi into Cryptic Command. Oh my gosh. I guess we don't even necessarily need this Cryptic because we can at least gust the Titan. And we can also Snap Gust too. And Teferi doesn't die this turn. Are you sure? Yeah. I forgot about the arena thing. Second Field of the Dead. We have outs. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for them to go to combat and then gust. Maybe I should have just done it in their upkeep because we kind of wanted like Snap Gust the Titan. I guess they can just Clue token in the Titan, but then we can Snap Gust. And if we can draw a Cryptic Command, we get to go Cryptic and Snap Cryptic, and maybe we can find our Nexus of Fate, take an extra turn. Can maybe draw a hardcast Shark Typhoon or a regular Shark Typhoon. We definitely have outs, but it'd be maybe a little disingenuous to pretend like we're ahead. It's gotta run kind of well. Why didn't they use Ghost Quarter yet? My Lotus Field has Hexproof, so they don't really have like a good Ghost Quarter target. Bad draw. Game 3. What interactions with Lotus Field do we have? We have Flagstones of Trokair, Tail's End, and Blood Sun, and untapping with Teferi. a lot. We're really built around the Tail's End. I think on the play, we don't need as many bolts, because a turn 2 Reclaimer, or a turn 1 Reclaimer can be answered with Gust, or you can even Tail's End the Reclaimer activation, which is kind of nice. I also feel like Tail's Ending your own Lotus Field trigger is a bit better on the play. Obviously, the card we want to most see is Blood Sun, and we did see Blood Sun. Or I should say we do see Blood Sun. I mean, Tail's End is just great. I've been like really happy with the card, but I also like it a lot. I think Tail's End is just like actually a good 2-mana counterspell in Modern. Yeah. 3 in the main deck. Maybe want to play a 4th. I'm going to bottom both of these. I'm going to draw a Lotus Field. Tapped Castle Garenbrig. Let's play this untapped. They could fetch main phase. I'd counter a fetch land. It is also nice that Blood Sun shuts off other fetches, of course. Okay. It's fine. Blood Sun does make Valakut Awakening enter untapped, which is also good. Blood Sun also draws a card, which is something I'm always down for. I have more viewers than Reduke. That's awesome. I of course love Reed with all my heart and soul. Reed is certainly one of the Magic players I most look up to in the world. But it's cool to be doing well. Life total's getting kind of low, huh? I don't think I want to Tails End that. Yeah, I guess we just bounce the Reclaimer here, draw a card. Draw an untapped land, we can maybe go to Teferi plus Tail's End, although like it's not like Tail's End is necessarily going to be great. Yeah, I mean, the mana base was going to be less painful if the Blood Sun survived. Oh, they have Tajiri's Step. I totally forgot. So I guess you're supposed to cast Awakening. It's not something that's super common, but I did see it last game, so obviously a big mistake. Pass it back. They didn't get a Flagstones with the Reclaimer, at least. But that may be just a game-losing series of events. I think I'm actually going to counterbounce the Reclaimer. Surely they don't play 2 Sajiri steps, but even if they do, it's not even that big a deal. I guess they could actually just get a Vesuva, but I think that's also fine. To just like make them use the Reclaimer getting a Vesuva to step. They hear Jerry T gave me a historic deck shout out. I did not. That's awesome. I like Jerry T a lot too. I remember Jerry T actually gave me a shout out, kind of early into my streaming career. That was really nice and something I appreciated at the time, and I guess still do appreciate, huh? What a draw. Jeez, Lewis. What if they have Vesuva? Yeah, I think I just said that, but I'm fine if they have Vesuva there, and I think they realized that that exchange probably wasn't even that good for them to have Vesuva there. So if they main phase Reclaimer, okay. Don't have to worry about it, I guess. Yeah, I want to Tails in their Reclaimer trigger, so I'm not going to Gust. Oh, I want to Nexus of Fate, baby. If we draw an untapped land, we can Nexus and Tails in their Reclaimer, so I'm going to hold that up. Nexus is so good with Teferi. Can you untap opponent's lands with Teferi trigger? Yes, you can, and it used to actually make you do that, which is kind of funny. Like, it at one point was not an optional ability. You had to untap. Okay, so we can Tails in the Reclaimer activation when they sack their Field of the Dead, but I guess then they can Ghost Quarter their field. But that's probably fine. Oh, right. This is a sack as part of the cost. Yeah. Right. But now they don't get to have a Field of the Dead, of course, so. That does feel like the most important thing. I guess we actually want to gust this Reclaimer, too. That way they can't just get another field immediately. I'm glad you're liking the deck, Pan. I think this deck is really cool, and I'm like really happy with how it's performing so far. It did take a couple drafts like this, you know. We worked on the deck today, and I always enjoy brewing with you guys. It's just that I can't always guarantee I'll have a productive brew session, you know. Just kind of have to have the inspiration striking me. They did put the Reclaimer on top, but they have the second Field of the Dead in their hand naturally, which feels pretty bad. We get to cast Awakening. I'm gonna put back the second Teferi. Draw 2. There's a Lotus Field, which is not nothing. I'd love to find a Blood Sun. Love to find a Blood Sun. Draw a card. There's Blood Sun. So we can play Blood Sun and then hardcast Shark Typhoon and leave up either Tail's End or Aether Gust. Or we get to leave up both because we get to untap Lotus Field. Amazing. But my opponent can Ghost Quarter themselves to get zombie. Oh, what a game. What a headache. They let it resolve? Gusting Reclaimer in response to his activation will shuffle. Yeah, I know, but I think I just didn't want them to get a Lotus Field of the Dead into play that turn, but they did anyways. And we drew Cryptic. Golly. Wow, man, this deck is awesome. I'm really happy that it's come together. I know I keep saying that, but I'm like really, really happy because I was nervous this deck would be hot garbage. But there's just like so much good stuff going on here. I guess we tap draw here, right? Our opponent can't Ghost Quarter because there's Blood Sun. We've talked about this a lot. I thought that they could for some reason too, but yeah, it gets stopped. There's really just not that much. Like, our opponent needs to have like Purge into Titan here, and even then it's not like we're necessarily dead to that. Ride the high tide, buddy. There's nothing better than having a sweet brew. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's it. I agree completely. My favorite thing in Magic is having a sweet brew that works. Okay, do they kill Blood Sun or do they kill Shark Typhoon? They kill Blood Sun. And then they get a zombie. But Shark Typhoon can probably deal with enough zombies to where, you know, we're not just going to lose to the invasion. Two cards in hand left. They can cast a Titan. Because their card was Castle Garenbrig. But they don't have a Titan. Awesome. Very exciting. Interesting draw. Let me go and just play a second Teferi, I think. Because this is a 5 shark, and it can be a lot of mana if we find something to do off of the mana. But mostly I think we need the shark. I think I'm going to Gust the Reclaimer. Maybe we don't need to do that. No, I think we do. I'm pretty happy, I think, if my opponent draws Reclaimer for turn. Can I try this in Pioneer? You know, one big thing is you don't have like Cryptic Command. Is that actually all you lose? Cryptic is pretty important. Like, oh, you also don't have Flagstones, which is a big deal, but like maybe this is a good Pioneer deck. Something to think about. Would Crucible of Worlds be crazy in this deck? I don't think that it would be great. It's fine, right? Probably should have gotten a non-island. Their hand was 2 paths, which doesn't put us dead on board, and we can Aether Gust. If they play Reclaimer main phase, we get to Gust the Reclaimer and then block and keep Teferi alive. If they Tails End, or if they Ghost Quarter, we can Tails in their Ghost Quarter. Or I guess we're just gonna have to Tails in the Night of Autumn trigger, though. Their 1 card in hand is Elvish Reclaimer. We have to trade 2/2 sharks for 2/2 zombies. And keeps a fairy at a nice healthy 3 loyalty. Would love to find my Nexus of Fate again. Come with a nice healthy 7/7 shark. You need to draw a spell. Opponent just thin 2 cards. So redraw. A lot of good draws here. That's a good one. I think we want to keep the Tails End.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Talos 6 months in a row. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome back. So, Cleansing Wildfire, the Field of the Dead. If they Ghost Quarter their own Flagstones, I don't think we respond. They're going to Ghost Quarter their Field of the Dead. That's fine. I know it denies us a card, which is a big deal when we have the Shark. But I think the Tails End is good enough to hold on to. I kind of just want to go... Yeah, I'm just going to Wildfire my own mountain. That way we can thin our deck a bit, which actually I think is relevant. Alright, pass it back. Especially with Nexus in our deck. Like, none of their lands really need to be killed. They did shuffle away their Night of Autumn, so... Tails End would be a nice answer to its ETB ability. We'll see if they draw something else. They draw a Elodomri's Call. They get Primeval Titan. We can Tails End the ETB trigger, which is interesting. Maybe this deck could be Naya. I've thought about other versions for sure. I definitely think there are different directions you can take this deck, and we may explore some other ones. I do agree with you that there are other options. May I ask you why I think Tails End is so good? You know, it's a large part of it has just been my experience with the card. The card is just kind of overperformed, but it answers a lot of really problematic threats in the format, and maybe that's not a good answer. Just does a lot. But it's also like extra good in this deck because you can counter your own Lotus Field trigger. But it really does answer most of the really powerful threats in Modern. Yeah, we get to plus now. Hell yeah! What a draw. Let's casually play a Lotus. Maybe we could have held it and Awakening it away. I think we're just rather Cryptic. Or just... I mean... They conceded. Okay. 2-0 in this league. Very cool. You like killing the Flagstones while the ability is turned off? Maybe that was better. Okay, this hand's good enough to keep. We can Wildfire our own Flagstones and Tails End our Lotus Field. Our opponent is playing Lurrus of the Dream Den. Yeah, I thought about untap. So the thing about Lotus Field with Wilderness Wreck is it's less good, I think, than with Teferi, because it untaps all of your lands. But you're killing 2 of your lands with Lotus Field. So I don't know. There's maybe something there, but I think it's less good than with Teferi. Why does it feel like every time I see you have Tails in your deck, and I feel like you broke the format? I think that you will maybe continue to feel that way until people wise up and start to play Tails End like I am. I think I'm bottoming both of these. Now that I would keep this Teferi if I didn't already have one in my hand. I'd love to draw a Lightning Bolt. We have four lightning bolts in our deck, and also the Madcap Experiment plan, very, very good in this matchup. And we also play no fetch lands, so the Platinum package is even better. Is Tails End the new counterbalance? Maybe. Silent Clearing is not a card I expected to see, although I guess this is just Red-Black Scourge. Not very often you see black Canopy lands. We did draw the Lightning Bolt I wished for. So I guess we need an untap land to be able to go Bolt, Snap, Bolt next turn. They're just, looks like they're just paying a life to grow future shadows. We can also just go Bolt plus Tails End our Lotus Field trigger. Yeah, Emma said that she bought foil Tails Ends recently. I don't know that I necessarily... Tails End is also great against Bomat. I don't know that I necessarily agree that that's something you should be doing very aggressively, but... I haven't bought any Tails End myself, but maybe I should. Also Tails End a Seal of Fire. We're probably dead if they have a... Bolt this... Yeah, I think we're just pretty priced into bolting a Swift Spear and then Tails Ending Lotus Field here. The next turn we get to untap 2 Lotus Fields with Teferi. Foil Tails End $6. Save a playset for me, maybe. Although I don't really have any foils in my collection, so I'll probably just buy regulars. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're likely to live. It's not a foregone conclusion, of course, but I think we've got a decent chance of untapping. Because they missed their land drop last turn, and they only have 1 red source. Yeah. Untap successful. Yeah, Tails End should draw a card. It's funny. Maybe. Cryptic. Typhoon. So we can make a 2/2 Shark and Snap Bolts. And if that's the case, I think we want to... Snap Bolt the Scourge now and make them Seal of Fire themselves. Is that true? That way we have 2 blockers and they use the Seal of Fire. Maybe we should only cycle Shark for 1. So we tap this for red. Bolts. Cycle for 1, and then we have Triome up to maybe draw another Lightning Bolts. And I feel like a 1/1 Shark and a 2/2 Shark are basically the same here. I guess the 2/2 Shark blocks the Bomat a little bit better. But I feel like the upside of drawing a Bolt is high enough that I want to just make a 1/1 Shark. Force is a relevant draw. It's a relevant draw. We'll take it. Yeah, that was our turn 4. Teferi into Snap Bolt to make a 2/2 Shark. Pretty good. Opponent did find their 3rd land. They, I feel like usually people who play Bomat don't play Dart, but I didn't articulate that. But it's not like it's impossible for them to be playing Dart. So I did mean to Bolt the Scourge because that made them use the Seal of Fire. And I think that we wanted the blockers for the Scourge pretty badly. I think I need to save Force of Negation for Team or Battle Rage. Or just another removal spell in Shark I'll also force. But I kind of think they got the TBR. Of course, we still need to, you know, draw some gas. Cryptic Command is maybe the best draw. Nice to have the read. Down to 5. Okay, it's an interesting draw. I'm going to tap this for blue, cast Serum Visions. Shark Typhoon and Snapcaster Mage on top. It's got to be good, right? I guess we need to draw the Snapcaster and probably just Snap Visions, though. Because we actually don't have many instants. Or maybe we just play the second Teferi right now. And then we get to make a huge shark in their instep. And then we can hold up Snap Tail's End for the Bomat. Or maybe Snap Force of Negation too. We could also Teferi. We could Teferi minus on the Scourge. And then make a shark. But then we can't also hold up the Teferi. It's kind of funny. Teferi's just like a Burning Tree Emissary here. Set up a lethal shark. We're going to make a big shark for sure. Not sure exactly how big. Probably a 7/7. I guess that doesn't block the Scourge. Draw Cryptic Command off of this. We can Snapcaster target Tail's End. Oh, but if we do that, oh no, maybe we fumbled this. Yeah, if we Snapcaster target Tail's End, we can't Tail's End unless they give us something to Tail's End first. Yeah, I think we made a mistake. So maybe we just need to chump with the shark. It feels really bad, but I think it's where we're at. Maybe cast Snap in their draw step to force the Bomat. Well, if we cast Snap in their draw step, they just go to their main phase and then they can pop it. We can Snap Tails in this Kroxa, which I guess we are kind of forced into doing. Then they get to sack Bomat. We're dead to Bolt if that's their last card, or dead to land plus Bolt if they Bomat. Still have outs, still in this game. Never mind. Fought hard. I think things get better post-board, or at least I am hoping. Why not Snap Block Bomat with Tails End selected in combat? Because if we Snapcaster target Tails End in their declare attacker step, when we go to declare blockers, we can't cast Tails End because of the way we have to tap Lotus Field for 3 at a time. Although we could have untapped a Spirebluff Canal and just made a smaller shark. We're dead to their Bolt anyways. Yeah, hello Lamp, how are you doing today? I'm gonna cut the Wildfires, I think. Cut the Nexus. Kind of like Tail's End. Well rested, that's good to hear. Yeah, we needed to make a smaller shark. It was a tough game. I did consider Helix in the 75. I feel like it's a bit awkward with Lotus Field. It's kind of the main reason I didn't want it. Do you lose mana between attackers and blockers? Yes, they're two different phases. And mana goes away in between phases. I mean, this hand is a turn 4 Teferi on the play. Keep. Yeah, we did consider Fact or Fiction. 4 mana instants are definitely at a premium in this list. I think that it's maybe just a bit better to play Valakut Awakening, though. Yeah, turn 4 Teferi, untap Lotus Field. Or, you know, could cast that on turn 4 too. That's gotta be my hand of the week, maybe. I've had some interesting hands this week. Could this deck translate to Historic with Lotus, Big Teferi, and Shark all legal? Actually, yes, I played this deck in Historic at the PT, but it was a Bant version. But absolutely. Well, oh, we were supposed to float mana, then play Lotus Field, of course. Oops. Getting kind of massively punished. But I would love this Settle the Wreckage. We need to play the Lotus Field this turn. So that's good to know for future sequencing. Float the mana. Have I tried brought back versions? I think brought back kind of sucks. I haven't played with it, but I think brought back is not good. I want it to be good. Yeah, I played Lotus Field at the Historic PT. I went 5-2 in Historic. You know, in Historic, you untap it with Teferi, you Tails in the trigger, it puts cards in the yard for Uro, and it's also kind of nice with Nissa because it's still hexproof, which is relevant sometimes, although not every time. Yeah, I guess we have Visions after we Madcap. But if we drew like exactly, yeah, I'm gonna draw the Snapcaster and just like snap Madcap next turn probably. Oh no, they have the Spell Bomb. That's bad. Well, pretty easy block, of course. Okay, they'll just sack now. Of course, Bowmats are a lot of card advantage for our opponents. Doesn't feel great. Another Scourge. I wonder if how many outs they have to this Platinum Emperion. They're still playing, so it seems like they probably have a few. In fact, I think we were probably supposed to minus one of these Teferis on their Bowmat Courier here. Right? That way we can just stop them from digging deeper. Bit weird, but it's kind of a weird game. Yeah, I would imagine that Kolaghan's Command is their out. And if they drew it already, good game, but... I think this is the line. This is the way. I mean, the Scourges aren't really a problem. I mean, they kill our Teferis, but they don't kill us while this is in play. Yeah, they have to kill this, but they can kill it. Even without Kolaghan's Command in their deck, they can draw 3 Lightning Bolts. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not that weird. Seems probably fine. We have block here. Don't think that's good, but it's kind of interesting. Yeah, maybe Ingress Rampage. I honestly kind of don't think that card is very good. But that doesn't mean that they don't play Ingress Rampage in their deck. People play lots of cards I think are not good. Huh. Can we just cast this next turn? Should be able to, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess not quite, but it's probably still good enough to keep on top. And if we play our Teferi, it is dying. So maybe we'll Blood Sun, we draw the Emperion, we can't cast it. Yeah, if they just attack with just a Scourge next turn, we can maybe just chump with Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, Blood Sun does stop fetch lands. And so we're not playing any fetch lands, which also is nice to have Platinum Emperions in our deck when we're not playing any fetches. Yes, I mean Spellbomb. I know Spellbomb messes with Snapcaster, but we're just gonna block. Well, maybe that's what you're like. We're mostly just having it here as a blocker, I think. Because last turn they attacked with just 1 Scourge, and so I expect them to do that again. Do an opt instead of Serum Visions? I don't think so, because we play a lot. We are playing a lot at sorcery speed in the early game because of Lotus Field. Henner, thank you for Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a good day today. It is possible opt is better, but I suspect Visions is better, and I also think that we need that degree of consistency that Serum Visions offers over opt. The Visions were a really good addition. Okay, they can cash in a TBR if they have one to kill our Teferi. So is this just Teferi Hero and Untapped Field? Are you talking about in the deck for the deck? That's a big idea behind the deck, but there are other synergies too. Okay. Talk about synergies. I might just Blood Sun though. Blood Sun turns off their like canopy lands. I don't think we need a huge shark necessarily. Especially because Cryptic Command, if we draw Cryptic here, Cryptic is going to be pretty lethal soon. We're currently 2-0 we're 2-0 with this 75, although we are down a game here. We have a worse record overall today, but we've been changing cards, and I think we actually have a pretty good 75 now. I don't think Archmage's Charm is good, but I don't think it would be completely unreasonable to play it. Obviously, it's good with Lotus Field. But it seems kind of hard to cast otherwise, possibly. Keeping this robot is seeming ambitious. I think it was good to keep. Almost feels like very important, because eventually they'll draw an answer. And they have drawn an, Dismember plus Bolt, just like Spider said. But we found Settle the Wreckage in the nick of time. And we were just 1 mana away from hard casting it. No one plays around the Settle. Thanks, Hinner. I appreciate that. I work really hard to make cool and interesting modern decks. I think I've been doing some good work this year. Yeah, Lotus Field is no longer hexproof, so if they brought in Wildfire, they can get us. Pass it back. They didn't even have any more basics in their library. Hey, Doom, how's it going? I feel like we could maybe play a second Settle in the 75. Say that 5 times fast. This Settle will be quite the screenshot with no commentary, yeah. I mean, this whole deck is just like crazy screenshots. Okay, that's Emperion mana. This is dead. Although I guess it makes a shark if we hardcasted Typhoon. Viper, thank you for Twitch Prime. Cool username. I like how you got the letters spaced out. Thanks, man. The gender neutral man, of course. Yeah, I'm kind of in for maybe playing 1 in the main. I don't think it's definitely necessary, but card seems good, especially with like just Teferi into Lotus Field into Settle, which is what I was doing in the historic PT. Just to confirm, Madcap doesn't kill us with no artifacts. It does kill you if you have no artifacts, but it doesn't kill you if you have Platinum Emperion in play. And so if you have hardcast Typhoon, no Emperions left in the deck, but you can cast Madcap for a shark. But that's all it's doing, They're dead to a Bolt, they're dead to a Cryptic, they're not dead to a Flagstones. In fact, Flagstones is a kind of a dead draw. I'll just hold it in my hand for like Valakut Awakening. And then we have Snap Settle up, so even if they kill my Emperion, we should win the game next turn with Shark. So they need to answer both creatures. Or they could just answer the Shark now, and then maybe draw out of this with Luris. Yeah, the Valakut Awakenings, I do think were a really key piece of this puzzle too. Okay, so deal 2 damage to me, kill my Platinum Emperion. They have to have an answer for this, or like a Graveyard Hate spell. Although Graveyard Hate spell doesn't do it by itself, right? Because we can still chump block. But they could have gotten back their spell bomb. So if they have Cling to Dust, they can counter the Settle the Wreckage. But we also get to just chump block the Luris. So they would need to have Cling to Dust plus removal spell. Plus other removals. No, that wins. So like Cling plus push wins the game. Maybe they're regretting their decision to not play a spell bomb immediately. I will say that if they have more answers to Platinum Emperion, they're definitely getting boarded in. So it's possible we could just cut the plan for game 3. But I still think it's just like you just put it into play, make your opponent deal with it, and I think it's still like a big part of your game plan. We did win game 2. Let's think about like maybe what it would look like to cut these cards. We would probably bring in like 2 Gust, 2 Teferi, 2 Wildfire. I mean, they probably still don't have like more than like 3 answers to this, and obviously it's just very good if it sticks. And then they also kind of like, you know, let me think. It's close though. Yeah, that's true. Them having dead cards is less relevant with Bomat. I kind of feel like on the draw, I'm interested in trying out this. I'm not definitely saying this is good, but I kind of want to see how it feels, which is important when you're testing a new brew. Yeah. I don't think we want 4 Gust, so because they play Bomat and Scourge, I haven't been in love with Gust against their deck, but I think like 2 are still fine. We have Bloodsun plus Lotus Field plus Teferi, so we keep. Obviously, we kind of need to draw a land, but it's, you know, we're on the draw when a lot of lands are in our deck, so feeling okay. We can also just Tails in the Lotus Field trigger if we don't draw the land now. Yeah, wildfiring your own Lotus Field. 1,100,000 IQ. Opponents with the turn to Kroxa, I'm assuming. What do we want to discard? Probably a second Teferi. Also keeps our life total at 20 to play around Scourge, which is why I'll just play the Stevens tapped. Which may seem weird to play the Stevens tapped here, and it's possible it's not correct, but that's my thought process. And they just put Lurrus into their hand, so we could hold up Tails End to counter that this turn. But I think just playing the Bloodsun is going to be better. Yeah, getting Bloodsun into play seems immensely important in this spot. And that turns off the Bloodstained Mire. Awesome. And their Silent Clearing. Their Silent Clearing ability to sack. They probably don't have very many outs to the Sun either. Yeah, it's Bloodsun, Lotus Field is a Splinter Twin combo. Dude, I really want to 5-0 with this deck today. Cast this, right? Yeah. Bottom. Visions, I think, was a really good addition. I keep just saying the same things over and again, but really think it was a good call. Am I gonna settle this Lurrus? I guess I will. Keeps Teferi's loyalty high. Keeps Scourges stranded in their hand. Seems fine. Yeah, it's possible that they just have a lot of answers. Like, they could have, like, a Braid in their hand, you know? Any consideration to Omen over Visions? Maybe. We have a lot of 2-drops already, which is maybe a concern. I like the idea. We do have a lot of 2-drops already. Obviously, it's just hard to say for sure with a new brew like this. There's always just a million directions you can go with a deck, and just takes time and a lot of reps before you know for sure the direction that a list needs to go. Yeah, Snapcaster is better with Visions, although we also don't have to play Snapcaster. Oh, they have Angrath's Rampage? It's kind of a beating. So wildfiring our own Flagstones doesn't really do anything. Might just like... I think they showed us that they only played 2 basics earlier, and they're... Oh no! Dang it! Ugh, I misclicked. Okay. That was obviously bad. I think we're still in fine shape, but... And they had Spellbomb for Snapcaster anyways, but I should have targeted their land. I don't think you want to play Deliberate. I honestly think Deliberate sucks, but... Alright, they're going to bolt me so they can play Scourge, which is fine. I'll just Cryptic their Scourge. Yeah, opponents may be confused. We're just thinning our deck is why we wildfired ourselves there. Just thinning the deck. Yeah, it seems to be time to hardcast Typhoon. We have spells up, and they can't answer this unless they play Feed the Swarm, I guess. Seems fine. Do I want to Tails in the Spellbomb trigger? I think I do, because we have Snaps in our hand. Yeah, this is a hardcast Typhoon stream for sure. Just shuffling the cards we put on the bottom. Too real. That's true. If you make bad plays, your opponents won't know what's up, and they'll be confused. So I'm sure they'll take a Snapcaster unless they have more graveyard hate in their hand. Then they'll take the Gust, but they took the Snap. This deck is awesome. This deck is really cool. Hell yeah. It's quite the draw. I think I'm just going to main phase Snap, bounce, Shadow, draw a card. Because this way if they have graveyard hate, we still get to cast the Cryptic from our hand. And it makes a 4/4 Shark, which is better than a regular Cryptic Command. Yeah, I agree that maybe they should be in 104.3A territory. Guess they agreed to. 3 and oh, hell yeah. Thanks, Myth. I do put a conscious effort to try to talk through my lines and explain everything, although sometimes I can be kind of bad about it. Glad that you appreciate the effort. We're keeping this hand. Play an Awakening on turn 1. Need to get some more coffee soon. Kind of looks like bad nauseum. Okay, so we can Wildfire our own Flagstones this turn, and the next turn play Blood Sun into Lotus Field and maybe cast Valakut Awakening too. That was a really good draw. It makes me feel better about keeping the Wildfires in the deck. If you could send a screenshot of that 7-card hand to Spike from a week ago, what would Spike have thought? Probably that I was up to some. I don't think I would have thought that hand was good, but that was also like maybe a week ago I was like aware that the Bant deck in Historic was really good. I saw Nassif was main decking 3 Tails End in his Historic deck today, which made me feel happy. Rental capacity do I go with? I use I think the gold tier, but I also have had my Mana Traders account for like 2 years now. And because of that, I can rent more cards than the base gold thing. So I can basically rent anything. But I do not believe that the gold rental service will let you rent the most expensive modern decks, but it'll let you rent most decks at least. Alright, I think I'm just going to Valakut Awakening these 3 cards. Might as well do it now. Interesting. I don't think that there is a weekly option. It's by month. I think it gets cheaper as you go. So I don't know. I don't remember what like the base. You know, I don't know how much it is if you are just getting it, but I think I pay like $40 a month after having it for a long time. Am I supposed to bounce this Unlife? I don't think I am. They do play basics. They usually play 2 or 3 basic lands. Okay, so we don't even die to like any amount of Simian Spirit Guides, so I'm just gonna bounce the Unlife now, draw a card. I don't have a content creator. You're talking about for Mana Traders? I don't. Nice, great draw. Just gonna bottom that. I do recommend their service, but we're not sponsored by them. The stream is not sponsored by anybody. Brought to you by viewers that are you. Not even viewers like you, just literally you guys. I think I'm gonna snap Cryptic this. Yeah, brought to you by the Shark Typhoon. If I applied 100%, I could get one. I know. I know. Yeah, also definitely brought to you by Esther's Food. I was hoping I'd get some food today, but she was late for work. I think she slept through her alarm. She kind of rushed out the door, so I didn't really get to hear exactly what happened. I think we just make a little shark here, a baby shark, if you will. Really want to find another counter spell. I guess we can Cryptic Command to counter their Lotus Bloom and bounce Snapcaster Mage, and then we can snap Valakut Awakening. Seems like the line. We can't snap the Valakut Awakening this turn, but we can at least do it next turn. Adnaz should play Bloodstone to not take damage, yeah. Deck is obviously terrible, just helping our opponents out too much. Please don't have Pact into the win. They do. Fortunate. Close game, just couldn't find a second counterspell. Or a third counterspell, I guess, I should say. Let me go ahead and let them show me their deck. Maybe they're playing some Spice. And in this matchup, we get to bring in Teferis and Disputes, which actually aren't, it's not that much. Disputes also, like, just kind of okay. It's not, like, actively good. The Emperion loses to Oracle. It is nice that we have main deck Tails in for Oracle, though. Hi, what are the upsides of this build versus regular Jeskai Wildfire control? An excellent question. So, of course, this deck has way more powerful draws where you can cast a turn 3 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I guess you can't do turn 3. You can cast a turn 4 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria with Cryptic Command up, which is incredibly powerful. That's like a super good thing to be doing. But it does sacrifice consistency for power, which is something that you can usually do in Magic the Gathering, is sacrifice consistency for power. This seems like just the sideboard plan, pretty straightforward. Cut the bolts for these 4 cards. I'm going to click yes. I'm also going to start some coffee. I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Did I play any more Blue-White Urza Blade off stream? Not really. Although I do intend to. Just like I'm still kind of fresh off the PT, you know? This hand's a little weird, but I think it's good enough to keep with the visions. Well, I'm kind of... I accidentally bought 2 of the same art. I wanted to have the 4 different ones. I think we actually keep both of these. We can turn 3 Tails in our Lotus Field and go turn 4 Teferi with Cryptic up, which is, you know, kind of like this deck's whole gimmick, of course. You think I got 4 different ones, but bought 2 of one of them. I hope that that's true. We're currently 3-0 top. We're down a game against Ad Nauseam. The Serum Visions and the second Valakut Awakening, I think, have felt really good. Yeah, maybe even want a third Valakut Awakening, but 2 is probably the right number. I bought 4 different, also 1 extra. Ah, I see. So much wealth. I'll fix that. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Prism would be scary, is officially scary. I might even Force of Negation. Oh, no, so we're drawing Teferi. But I think we're still supposed to cycle for 0. And I wonder if Cowards can block Warriors or not. I don't think that they can, so... I think we have to go Shields down with this hand. Tails In doesn't beat Ad Nauseam Angel's Grace anyways, but it does beat Thassa's Oracle here. And if, you know, Coward... I can see if they errated this or not. But I don't think that they did. Cowards can't block Warriors. Okay, cool. Cool. They're playing a Pintad Prism. It's a good sign for us. Is there anything special about Valakut Awakening in the Shell? This deck is kind of like a little more prone to getting mana flooded because we're not playing Jace the Mind Sculptor, and we're not playing Jace the Mind Sculptor because we have no fetch lands, and we have no fetch lands because of Blood Sun. And so the Awakening is kind of some insurance there. Hey Danny, good to hear from you, dude. How you doing? This deck is insane. A spicy brew. Only have 2 Force of Negation and 2 Teferi in the deck, so this matchup is not as good, I think, as it is with the other Jeskai deck. But also Ad Nauseam, like, was the best matchup for the other Jeskai deck, so I'm not too worried. They lose their Gemstone Mine. They play an Unlife, which I think is fine. Not something I'm gonna counter, at least. Then they're going to pass. So we're dead to Simian Spirit Guide, so I don't think we're supposed to make a Shark. And it's also nice that we just get to draw extra cards here with Teferi. Because of the Nexus of Fate, just taking an extra turn. Archmage's Charm is something to consider, and of course it's difficult to have the perfect version of a new brew, especially one that's a little out there like this. But I think that Archmage's Charm is like maybe just too hard to cast if you don't have Lotus Field in play. Marshmalloon 2 months in a row. I've tapped my mana really poorly, and now they've pacted. Damn it! Oh, what am I doing? What a mistake. I mean, we can Valakut Awakening looking for Force of Negation if we need a counter spell. They also need to have... They need to have a... Angel's Grace to not die, or they can have Ad Nauseam in their upkeep, but obviously this was awkward. Oh, they're just going to pay 5. This is so okay. Oh, they're going to Ad Nauseam. This is less okay. Right, I'm going to Valakut Awakening for all the cards. I think it's better to do it for all the cards than to leave a blue card, because we're pretty likely to draw a blue card anyways. Fair enough. Wait. Oh no, we were dead at instant speed. Right. Alright, lost Ad Nauseam. If they had that Veil somewhere in their hand, maybe we lose anyways if we tap our mana well, but of course, better to have tapped our mana correctly. Stands a keep. Playing against Jingatha the Wellspring. Not sure exactly what that is. Probably Tron. Blood Sun does not shut off Tron, sadly. This could also be Copycat, could be Jeskai Ascendancy combo. Could be a brew of some kind. Could be Niv Mizzet. Niv to Light. What deck do we lose to? We lost to Ad Nauseam, which is probably a fine matchup, but you know, you can lose to anything. But it did mold a 5, and I'm pretty happy to have Force of Negation. Yeah, it could be that mono red deck, but I feel like that has been largely replaced by kind of want to find an untapped land. We didn't. I guess we bought them both. Yeah, I feel like that deck has been largely replaced by the Obosh mono red prowess deck. Yeah, I feel like I know I never say this card correctly. Gigantha. I'm not gonna start now. Nice that Nexus also pitches to Force. Hiyashi still plays the... I haven't seen Hiyashi play that version in a while. Opponent says rude. They're not wrong. Might need to buy 2 turns with that Force of Negation. On a mold of 5 by our opponent, I think it's possible, although not super likely. I think it'll just buy us 1. Yeah, I think Hayashi just plays whatever Hayashi wants to play, you know? Okay, another star. Do they have a Scryings? Kind of weird to crack the star now if they didn't already have a scryings in their hand. Or sorry, stirrings. I guess if they have more stars, it's probably fine. Okay, so we get to go Blood Sun into Valakut Awakening, but we'll probably just Valakut Awakening for 0 or 1, depending what we draw off of the Blood Sun. But you still get to just cycle it. Oh, Tailsend is a sick draw. Hell yeah. Is Rude a legit response to an in-game action? I think it's a fine response if you have a rapport with your opponent, which my opponent probably, you know, feels that they have because I'm a e-boy. But I would probably err on the side of not saying something like that. But I think that they're being banterful. Yeah, I really don't like the word streamer, so although it's definitely way more accurate, I think e-boy is funny, so that's what I tend to say instead. All right, so let's just cycle the Valakut Awakening for 0. You still get to draw a card, even if it's 0, which is cool. The perfect card, hell yeah, dude! This deck is sick. This deck is so sick. Oh man, I'm so happy that it's worked out today. I really wanted this deck to be good. What do I think about online personality? I'm not a big fan, but I also feel like whatever people want to describe themselves with is fine. This deck is so sick. Ah, it's awesome. I love it when a brew comes together. This is actually a -1 mana Teferi. Makes mana. Burning Tree Teferi. Although we had to fizzle the other mana. Athena's doing a big stretch. I'm scared to get up because I know to get my coffee because I know if I get up, Athena's gonna want to get up too, which she's so cute. Yeah, I had discontinuity in one of my historic brews for the PT, and I tried it and I didn't think it was very good. But maybe you could play a copy in this deck. Yeah. Their lands tap for 3, our lands tap for 3. It's all good, baby. I think I'm just gonna Tailsend because I don't want them to go to second main and cast something else without me being able to counter it. Has redeemed a pet Athena. A good time to redeem a pet Athena. Usually about this time of the day she comes in. Especially when Esther's at work. So good. Sorry about the slow roll, opponent. But Athena had to be pet. Might cycle a Cryptic Command on my turn if we have just 3. Never mind. Let's do this. Ah, chef's kiss. Who needs another land? Not this guy. Yeah, we can use 12 mana of spells this turn, which is more than our opponent, right? It's pretty sick. They were also shutting off their Ugin's Nexus or Sanctum of Ugin. They've got 1 card left in hand, but they only have 4 mana. A pathetic amount of mana, honestly. They should go to their second main to play around Tailsend. Alright, so if they sack the expedition map now, we can Tailsend it, but we just have Blood Sun if they were going to get like a Blast Zone, so I don't think we need to. Who plays 2 copies of Tailsend? Not me, I play 3. Who only plays 2 copies of Tailsend, I think is what you should be asking. Tailsend is just great. It is just a good card in Modern. A non-indestructible Cascading Cataracts. Can't relate. So I guess we go Snapcaster, Valakut Awakening. Put back the Flagstones, draw 2 cards. I'll float a red mana in case we draw a Cleansing Wildfire. Make a Shark. But this game's also super over. Yeah, you can Tails in your own field trigger, which is... like, I think you have to probably be able to Tails in some of your own stuff effectively for it to be a main deck card in Modern. But if you play Uro or Lotus Field, or like theoretically Pact of Negation, you know, then I think the card gets there. But I don't think... it's probably fine to main deck a copy. This does nothing... but it just, like, the more and more I play with Tails End, the more happy I am with it. Game 1, Tails End your Emrakul trigger. Amazing. Yeah, this is probably a screenshot. Love it when a deck comes together. Although we don't have a ton in the sideboard for this matchup. We can probably... like, I think the first 2 gusts are fine. They're not good in this matchup, but they pitch to Force and they counter Stirrings and Scryings, and I think that's just better than Lightning Bolt answering Karn the Great Creator. Like, Karn is like a pretty counterable spell. Maybe the first Bolt is better than the second Gust. Maybe I accidentally talked myself into it. On the play, Gust is way better. Or on the draw. Does Blood Sun remove the enters the battlefield tapped? Yes, it does. I'm gonna mulligan this, I think. Yeah, it also stops Veil. That's a good point. Valakut's Force seems really similar to the draw 2 mode on Azuria's Charm. It's a good... I think that's a good assessment. And I also, like, I feel like because we're not playing Jace the Mind Sculptor, we're getting flooded out more often, and we can't play Jace because we're not playing fetch lands, and we're not playing fetch lands because of Blood Sun. Keep this. Aether Gust also goes to the bottom. But Valakut Awakening kind of just helps mitigate flood, and I think 2 is good. Maybe you could play 3. So Modern is my courtyard? Yeah. Yep. I've been doing some good work in Modern this year. Blood Suns does stop the Flagstone trigger, but I think it hasn't been a big deal so far. It's pretty easy to play around, I think. That's awesome, JN. Happy to hear it. Oh, I forgot to get my coffee. I'm just going to do that now before I keep forgetting. I'm not going to Force of Negation anything. Yeah, I'll just, we get to Wildfire. Ooh. That's a good one. I'm just going to target their power plant, and we're not going to have an in-depth conversation about which one to target. I'm not going to do it. No, Harry. You got to prove it to me that you're dedicated enough. I'm a one chatter man, And I also don't think polygamy is legal anywhere. You have to be okay with me still dating Esther, though. 'Cause I'll never leave that woman. Really is the best thing that's ever happened to me, is getting with Esther. She's just made me such a much better version of myself. Alright, would love to draw land. Fran, help! Fran, help! What do I do? Yeah, she's just great. Tearing up. Not sure if this coffee is just terrible or if I was too sweet on stream. The coffee is definitely not very good. No, I'm not married. Me and Esther, we intend to become married. But so she's in grad school, and I think we're just kind of trying to wait till she's done with that. You know, maybe we're both a bit more established in life. So probably cycling Typhoon for 0, and maybe we get to like snap Wildfire next turn. There should be some way of formalizing that intention. I know, dude. Too bad there's not one. Yeah, she also doesn't have enough channel points, which is a bit of a concern. She's not farming. So I take back everything I said. Oh, I should probably concede to that. I mean, is Jingotha even good? Because it doesn't actually like tap for super relevant things. Maybe I'm supposed to Visions first? No, I don't think so. Don't think so. Okay, so we can go Blood Sun into Lotus Field next turn, into like Snap Wildfire maybe. Yeah, but Jingotha doesn't. It only taps for like Ancient Stirrings, so it's just kind of a 5/5. Do bot subscriptions get channel points? Ooh. Well, maybe they probably do, right? Went for dinner. What's the score? We're currently 3-1 in this league, which is our first league with this exact 75. But we played some worse versions earlier. I can't remember exactly how we did with them, but with this 75, we're 3-1 and we're up a game. And I think we have a good shot of winning this one, too. We don't have a very good chance of ever pronouncing Jingotha correctly, but that's fine. Yeah, I think this doesn't do very much, right? I was almost upset when you were playing generic Jeskai Wildfire. yeah, I've been really in the mood to play some Spice, and I feel like I just haven't been brewing as much as in Modern because of the PT. That just is true, and now I can focus on continuing to innovate in Modern, which is, you know, my bread and butter. My delicious, delicious bread and my delicious butter. Jinganth Athena. Is there a Lotus Field Restore Balance deck? There's not one, so you should make it. You should make it. Sounds like a cool idea. Yeah, I don't mean us aren't in any rush to tie the knot, but we love each other very much, and I think we're excellent partners, which is mostly what I'm looking for, of course. Do I have a sideboard guide for the banned historic deck? Yes, it's up on the Discord for subscribers, which you are, Luis. Can force a Karn, pitching a hero. Darn right I am, hell yeah. So let's go to Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and then we get to have, I guess, only 7 mana, so we can't quite snap Wildfire and cast Cryptic, but we can hold up either one because we have the Teferi Plus. Although I suppose we're just supposed to snap Wildfire so we can block this guy. Although they get to maybe resolve Karn. But if we do it in their draw step, we get to tap the land. There's lots of ins and outs to this case, you know? Yeah, so let me tap Lotus Field for red, and then Hallowed Fountain for blue. I don't think we want to let the Teferi go. I think this is fine, because they can't Tron us, and then they have to have like untapped land plus Karn for Karn to resolve, and like Karn resolving doesn't even matter, honestly, that much. We can also draw another Wildfire, some tapping like this. Could draw Tails End, could draw Force of Negation. Next turn we also get to bounce this guy with this guy. You complete another no-death run in Demon Souls. That's awesome. I was talking yesterday about trying to do a no-hit run of Dark Souls 1, and everyone said, stick to Magic, shut up. And, you know, I probably won't try it anytime soon, but I've got the fire in my heart, you know. If I was gonna do it, I would just like on days when I had the energy and the time after the regular stream, I would just attempt it, and I'd be practicing in my free time too. And I don't think I'd start it anytime soon, but I just really want to do it. Yeah, I've done a no death run of Dark Souls. I did it on stream too. And I'm not like good at the game, but I think that if I put enough work in, I could get it done. You have a Blue Moon list with Scions, or need to grind 20 channel points for you to take a look at it. Either that or give me $5. I don't think you can give channel points. You know, they're coming out with the betting, the wagering channel points thing. They've just given it to random channels, and I haven't gotten it yet. But I think it's coming out to everyone later this month. Not sure. My opponent gets a Spyglass. Kind of expecting them to get a Ballista and kill my Snapcaster. We should be able to deal with this Spyglass. Yeah, I think the betting thing is really good. I really wanted to get it, but I just bad RNG, I guess. I think Yama got it. Betting on the record, yeah. Especially with like a trashy or sketchy brew. Active Gamer Fitness, thanks for the raid, my friend. Hope you're having a good day today. We got a spicy one. Drawing a lot of lands. In fact, I would like to have less lands in my hand. We found another Lotus Field, which is pretty cool. Wish for less lands was realized, and now we also get to cast a Nexus of Fate and win the game. Jeez, that was so sick. All right, can you post the link to the deck in the chat? I can't copy and paste from my view. Let me go. No, we're gonna hardcast this shark. What a sick turn. Absolutely absurd. Completely unreasonable. Downright unfair, even. I'm just gonna bolt the Karn, I guess. Yeah, Puke, I don't know if you posted the link in chat, but if you did, can you do it again? I don't see it. But I can't copy and paste from my thing. 4-1? Very exciting. Yeah, this is a brand new brew, Active Gamer Fitness. One I kind of just had an idea for last night. As I was falling asleep, I was just thinking about Flagstones and Lotus Field. And we 4-1'd our first league with the 75.